Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and today I'm just going to do, I don't know, I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood just to do something, so we're just going to kind of play a little bit. I've kind of redone my table. You can see I have a new reading cloth. I'm not sure that I like it. I mean, I love it, but it's a little bit busy for me. I do like a more gray blacks. I think it's beautiful for fall, but I'm not sure. I'm not entirely feeling it for everything. This is my current crystal grid. How awesome is this? Today is the full moon, or tonight's going to be the super moon. But this is kind of for me healing. It's got patchy tears. It has some white calcite, or just calcite, I suppose. And then it has my Herkimer diamond in the middle. So for me, this is very, very healing feeling. And so I have that going on there. Decks on my table are still the Dreams of Gaia, of course, because I'm massively in love with that deck. I still have the Mythic Oracle, because I've been using that with Dreams of Gaia, kind of to pull that sort of divine energy there. I still have the maybe Lenormand, because it's just so simple and so gorgeous, and I love it. And then I always have my Deste deck on. In fact, I need to do a Deste reading today, which is so exciting. So I love this. I use this a lot with Geomancy too. I don't know, the two of them seem to go together. That's why I tend to leave it out. Of course, I have my Geomancy sticks. I need to get another set. I'm going to talk about my bag in a minute. I need to get a smaller set, or make a smaller set for myself that can stay in this bag that I have. I have my spinny dice, which work okay, but I'm really fond of the sticks. So I might need to see if I can make and or get a thinner, smaller set. I think actually I can. I don't know if she's back up. Sometimes Alaska Laser Maid isn't up, so I need to take a look. And then of course I have crystals and my pendulums and such. So that's kind of been actually not much new there, but I've just kind of refreshed it because I took everything down for this and to put my new cloth on, and so, you know, it just got a refresh, so to speak. This I made last night. Now I think I have leather straps on it, and I think I'm gonna have to change them out because they're really difficult to pull because they overlap, and the rubber, or the leather just kind of grabs each other. But I don't know, because I do really like it. So I'm gonna work with it a little. I feel like it's just gonna yank the stitches out because I hand stitched this. And so I will put the link. I followed Benebell Wens. I just did really simple. I wanted to hand do it. And I followed Benebell Wen's instructions on how to make it. And it's just, you know, 2 pieces face to face and hand stitched all the way around, then hand stitched down a pocket. It was very simple and didn't take very long. And so, yeah, I will put a link to that those instructions in the down bar. So in here I have my 3rd edition Wild Unknown, which I have trimmed down and edged. Look at how awesome that looks together. So I have the 1st and 2nd Wild Unknown. So with this edition, I felt like I could play with it a little bit. So I trimmed it down and edged it in 4 different colors of black and grays, and I absolutely love it. And it just deepened the power level for this, and it just feels really powerful. And so I wanted to I'm going to use this because it's now also smaller. So I'm putting that for now in my bag. The other things that I have in here I have my Geomancy dice. I really want to find, I was going to put these up on my shop, but I really want to find a more solid. These feel so light, which is great, but I'm going to keep them in my bag for a while and see how well do they hold up before I add these little guys to my shop, because I do want to add a set of these dice to my to my shop because I think they're fantastic. See, there we have a Puer for that kind of energetic, but they feel so light, so I'm still working on it. I love it though. I love the actual concept and I love the way that they work. So I have that in my bag. I have my meditation beads. I'm going to add a raven. I'm going to go out today and find a raven to tie onto this so that I have wolf, raven, and of course it's got the moon on the one side. And so that will be, have both of my totems then, and can also be in this kind of shaman's bag, so to speak. I don't know, whatever I want to call it. I chose to use stones for the directions as well as for the 4 elements. So I have earth here as like a moss agate. I have a gorgeous carnelian that almost looks like a flame in the middle for fire. And then I have this gorgeous, this came with, Quilfin sent me this with the Ludi Lescott, but it just feels like deep ocean. So that is for water. And then I have a real or natural citrine that I just love, and that is for air, because traditionally air is associated with yellow. And then of course I have a piece of quartz for spirit, as well as because that's like one of my primary stones. So I have those in there. Again, can be used for the directions as well as the 4 elements. And so that I have in my bag as well. And other things I'm sure will kind of make their way in, but at the moment, I do really love this quartz because it's that kind of natural. I might put that one in there. I love this little point, quartz points. And actually that feels really nice. So I think that's what I'm saying. I think, as I energetically kind of feel out what I want to have in there. But for me, it's really important to have representations of the elements. And I decided to do it in stones because, again, I can set them out directionally. It just kind of works well. And I have to have something with Geomancy, a deck. I do really want to also have a Lenormand deck in here, like maybe the little black hand Lenormand actually might go really well in here. And then again, my totems and that sense of meditation and things of that. So I do need to, again, find a raven to go on here, and then this will be perfect. So that's sort of my little project last night when I wasn't feeling well. I just decided to whip this together. I have more of the fabric because I almost wish I had made it a little bit wider. So I have more of this that I may end up making this a little bit larger. I like the height, but it could have been a little bit wider, especially if I want to eventually put Geomancy sticks in there. Just depends on, I guess, what I start feeling like needs to be in there. I don't want it to go overboard, so maybe the size will help. But like I really probably will have a pendulum, although I can use this as a pendulum, especially once I have my totems in there. You can use just about anything, although this is fairly weighted. Let me just see. Am I a woman? Yeah, see, that works as a pendulum. So I really probably don't need a separate pendulum in there. Maybe I'll get a quartz point to add, and then it will be more weighted on the bottom, on this end, and can then use that as a pendulum. So, or tie it there with the moon. Tie on something there like a point. In fact, I think I have, although I would probably want a quartz point. I think Katie stole it. I had a beautiful amethyst point, like right here. I could actually, amethyst is lovely because I have the quartz here, and I do really love amethyst. This is a necklace point, but it could certainly be added like added to, tied in with this, and then that would make a really great pendulum on one end, and then I have my raven on this end. So although I really like this necklace, I have it together with a dragonfly, and I really actually quite like this. So I might just find something similar but in quartz to put on there. Anyways, yeah, so this is just sort of my all-in-one, what you might need in bag. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Really happy with how it turned out. So, so yeah, I thought I would do a little bit of a, now when I lay out cards, especially if I'm doing it surrounding geomancy, I have fire, air, water, and earth. That's how I would lay the cards out, because that equates to the lines of geomancy, and then we'll create a figure. So let's just, I'll just show you here. Let me do a show here. Oops. So then I place a card for fire, which here we have the Magician. I place a card for air, which we have the 7 of Pentacles. I place one for water. Here we have the 6 of Swords. And then I lay one for, of course, the Raven. The Raven's just been, I definitely have to get a Raven on to here, because although I always have this Raven, but in terms of for my bag, because Raven's been showing up on all kinds of things. So this is how I would place, if I'm just doing the elements and then making it into a geomancy figure. So this is the number 1. This would be a single dot. This is a number 7. It would be a single dot. This is the 3rd position, is 6. This would be a double dot. And then this is the number 5, which would be a single dot, which is related to the figure puer, which is boy. This is a very energetic, it's a lot of moving energy. It can be a little erratic if you think about youthful young boys, but it's very energetic. It's a mobile energy. Air is its primary element, and fire is its secondary, which is interesting because in my chart, air and fire are the primary energies. It's very passionate. It's seeking energy. It's changing energy. And so it's related to Mars, which is, again, energy, will, and transfer. Very masculine. Aries, very energetic, very masculine. So you have that. It's also in the first house of it's associated with the first house of self. And so there is that sense of magician, right? That energy that you're going to use to manifest, to be able to manifest what it is that you want, but it's kind of contained within the self. So that, I think, is really beautifully represents this particular reading. We also have, so in the air of my passions and where I want to take things and my following my bliss, all those kinds of things, we have the Magician. I have everything that I need within myself to be able to manifest what it is that I want to manifest. I think that's gorgeous and strong, right? In the position of air, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Now, the number 7, Patrick and I have been talking a lot about numerology because, you can read things very differently, especially when you have Pippish style cards. And so the number 7 can mean many different things, but it is that sense of 6 plus 1. It is also that, because 6 is harmony, and then you're starting to move forward from the harmony. It also also is 4 plus 3. So you have the stability of 4 going into the 3 of movement. So I do feel like I've been a little bit in stasis. And so this is sort of a sense of it's time to start moving things. It's time to start following that road up. That kind of stasis energy is time to give way to movement energy, which we also see with the Magician, right? When we come down to water, it's interesting. We do have, for emotions as well as our relationships, we have the 6 of Swords. Now, the 6 is actually a number of harmony. It's harmonizing. So you have the conflict of 5 that then gives way to kind of evening out and a harmonizing of the number 6. In Rider-Waite Smith, you'll often see the 6, they're in the boat and they're going away from a difficult situation. Same sort of energy, but this is intellectually, it's time to move forward. Same thing with this. There's a sense of it's been a little bit of a difficult time for me emotionally, and it truthfully probably will be until I get through December. But there is that sense of moving to better areas. It's time to kind of harmonize that out. And, at least I need to work at it to be able to function in the next month and a half, right? So so that's quite poignant there. And then we have the Hierophant in the realm of earth. That has more of a sense of pulling. In a way, in a spiritual sense, it feels like the Emperor, but for spirituality, at least today. It feels like that sense of kind of bringing some more order and some structure to spiritual things and spiritual, but physical practices of spirit, because it's in the realm of earth. So I quite like the energy that is bringing to this particular reading. It's also about working with somebody that you trust and getting advice from people, that kind of thing as well. But I'm really feeling that sense just in the realm of this particular reading, with that sense of kind of needing to bring some structure to spiritual matters in a physical way, like in a physical practicing way, which is kind of what I'm doing with making this, putting these things together. I'm working on a video on shamanism and things of that nature, so it is actually quite in tune with what's going on. So I just wanted to kind of show you, this, because I had worked on it last night, and I wanted to show you how it turned out and kind of what I would see myself having inside of it, and how, that it kind of has everything that I would need. And again, things I'm sure will be added to, although this feels pretty good. So there you have it. This is just a quick little peek into this lovely bag that I made. Again, I'll put the instructions, just a simple. The one thing I will say that I did differently, if we're going to get practical for a minute, let me turn this inside out. Benebell had talked about using a whip stitch on the side or a blanket stitch. But I will say that with my fabric, that didn't work out real well. I pulled that out. I followed, Quilfin has instructions on making a more complicated, gorgeous tarot bag video, and she just does like a kind of a running stitch, and that worked much better and is quite sturdy. And so that's the only change that I made in terms of, I followed, because it's just a basic bag, right? So you're just sewing all 3 sides. I just kind of went up to here and then folded these 2 flaps down, and she shows how to wrap this so that it works, and it really does work, except for that my leather is sticking to itself. So I followed her instructions, except for that I did a running stitch. And you can do this with a machine. I just felt for a kind of a ritual bag that I should do it by hand. And like I said, it really didn't take all that long once I figured out what I was doing. And it feels quite sturdy. So that is really the main purpose of this little video. So I hope that you guys all have a wonderful day. Today is Sunday, so I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I will be talking to you all soon.